What's going on today, Internet? Selfish here with Retrospect. Today we're going to test out GameSir's new T7 W Retro Green controller. It is a mouthful, and I understand that. But they have seemed to have beaten Xbox to the punch for creating a green controller to match the Anniversary Edition Xbox. Or just to use on your Xbox you have right now. But what we're going to find out is if they showed up to the ball, or if they just created something that's kind of like really affordable, but doesn't work very well. That's what we're here to find out. Let's take a look. For starters, this T7 W Retro Green controller was provided to me from GameSir for the purpose of review. No money is exchanged hands. All opinions are my own, and they will not see this review before you do. So let's get to it. Now, I have been using this for about a week now, so if I can find my original unboxing video here that's not corrupted, I will definitely show you that instead of what I'm showing you right now. But this is the packaging here for the T7 Pro Retro Green controller. There's the name all in there. It does come with 1 month of free Game Pass as well, so if you don't have a Game Pass subscription because you canceled it when they raised the prices, maybe now's your chance to get back in. That just adds to the value of the overall package we do have here. These controllers seem to be a very good value for what you're getting here, at least according to the box. So we will talk about that more throughout the review. So here's your box. Now again, if I can find my original unboxing, I will post that here instead of this. But you do come into the box here, and you are going to have pretty much like every other controller box you've ever opened. Maybe a little bit more simple than some of the other boxes. Some of the bigger ones have a lot more to show. But you have your controller. You do have this in here, which has your stickers, stuff like that. This is where your Xbox code thing goes to. But of course, I've been reviewing this for a week, so I don't have that in there. You also do get a big old, oh, I ripped it, my origami accordion. This is a big one. Now, you really only need one page on here because it's like one language per little section. So if you're like me and you speak English, you just have to go to this first section here. And so your origami accordion actually can go this way. That's way easier. But you're going to have everything you need right here. It's just going to talk to you about how to set it up to your computer and or to your Xbox. Nothing crazy, nothing insane or anything like that. It also does come with this really nice braided and labeled A to C cable. That's not where my camera is. It does come with this nice braided A to C cable. It has this cool little thumb spot on it too. It makes it easier to pull it in and out because this thing sits in there tight. It's probably the tightest A cable I've put in a long time. But it does say GameSir on it. Is branded again. Branded and braided, and it's got the GameSir logo here on this side too, and then you have it braided with this, and you can tell I've been using it because it's not pretty or anything like that, and that's okay. It doesn't need to stay pretty. It needs to be used. Inside of here, we do have our controller. It does have the little nubbins to keep the joysticks from getting all bumped around. Let's put this stuff away. And here she is in all of her glory. We will go through the I/O real quick, and then we'll talk about the testing and things I went through in order to get some results here, and so I can kind of make any kind of pros and cons recommendations for you here in the end. When it comes to I/O, we always do start at the top, so we're going to start there just like every other time. You do have your right and left shoulder buttons, or your L1, L2, R1, R2 buttons, and on the back here you do have trigger stops for these trigger buttons right down here, so they do work real well. One thing I did notice, and you'll see this when we go through testing, is the first like 2 times you click it after you put the trigger stop on, if you do it really like immediately when you put the trigger stop on, it seems like they don't register. They do though, but you don't see it. It's really weird, but it does still seem to work. And then we do have our back buttons here. Now, all these buttons can be programmed. I would recommend using their software. Their software is really simple to use, and you can just tell it what you want it to do. When you plug it into your computer, it's easy peasy. That's the way I would do it every single time. These also are some of the best trigger locks I've ever used. So they're up higher, they're raised, and they actually sink in as they go forward. I don't know if they have that patented or not, but this is actually better than some of the trigger locks they have on some of their other controllers. And they probably are using this on another controller I don't have, but on this controller it works particularly well. Obviously nothing on the right or left, but we do keep with the 3.5 headphone jack here on the bottom that you get a traditional Xbox controller. And this is a no battery to recharge because it is wired. So that's the W stands for T7 W Retro Green. The W stands for wired. Up here on the top, we do have our face buttons and our D-pad. Now, these do have really good rebound, and they are membrane-based. A lot of GameSir controllers, at least a couple that I've ever tried. I just recently started playing with GameSir controllers, or started picking some up to try them out prior to them sending me this, and those are micro switches. These are the first membrane-based ones that I've used, and it seems to work pretty well. Good rebound. It works great for fighting games, stuff like that. You do an M button, or the memory button here. This will give you access to be able to program any of the buttons you want, or you can use it to set into that program, like MY will actually get you into the Y program if you set it up on the computer, and that would be using that GameSir Nexus software. Now, you also do have your other buttons you normally have here on a traditional Xbox controller as well, including your Xbox button, and that does work just like your traditional Xbox button does. The joysticks on the T7W Retro Green are Hall effect joysticks. They do have slip rings in them as well. They feel really good. This is a really good Hall Effect joystick, and GameSir has made most of the Hall Effect joysticks that I've ever used, whether in a GameSir controller or if I'm putting them in a Switch or something like that. They just make really good Hall Effect sticks. I've tested a lot of sticks out for them over the years, but these are good. They have the slip ring again, anti-friction ring as well, and they feel good inside of here. There's no burrs or anything like that. You don't even feel that weird grinding you sometimes get with Hall Effect sticks. I'm not feeling that on these either. Now, what you can't see, or maybe what you can see, but you don't know what it is when you're looking at it, this is a laser etched grip in here. This helps with if you get sweaty hands or anything like that, and it won't deteriorate over time so much as like the rubber and stuff does. So they did a laser etched grip in here for that reason. And the other thing you can't see, and the reason why I actually flipped this over, is you do have 4 motors inside of here for haptic feedback, including motors for each of the triggers. So the triggers have their own motors, and then you have the separate motors for your normal rumble, which you're seeing down here. So you do have motors in the triggers, and you do have motors down here, so you can get that actual haptic feedback, and you do get a good feel when you're playing games. And it's just a all-around beautiful controller. It looks really nice. They did a good job fading this black into the green. One thing that is going to get a little crazy though, here I'll plug it in real quick, is the lights that are in here. And well, I'll show you here in just a second. Once you turn this thing on with the lights in, they are a little bright. And it's just like any other translucent kind of controller you've ever used. You are going to get that bleed through from the lights. It's unfortunate. There's really no way around it. They could have probably used a black membrane here to kind of cut it down a little bit, but then you wouldn't have got it through the keys. So it's kind of, you got to take the good with the bad. I think it still looks really nice. It is very much so. You can see exactly where the lights are located. You have LEDs in the joystick, so you have a single LED or two underneath the D-pad here. What's cool though is when you move it and you use it, you see the lights light up. So that's kind of neat. Joysticks do the same thing. They get brighter as you use them. And then obviously underneath your buttons here, we do have colorful lights that really kind of show off that using the buttons. And then same thing here with the Xbox button. Nothing too crazy, but it does look really cool, and it is neat that you get an extra brightness when you do use them. So that gives you some of the nuts and bolts here of the T7W controller from GameSir. Now we'll go through a little bit of the testing that I did earlier, and I'll be able to show you exactly kind of what you should expect when you're playing and what that testing kind of looks like. And we're going to do this actually with using testing software. That way we know that we're getting accurate stuff and not just the feel that I have. This will tell us right down to the nuts and bolts exactly what's going on. Can check the average error rate too. Looks like it's doing pretty good. Check this one out here. Huh. Here we go. Alright. As you see, everything is really well timed on this controller. It feels natural. So right now I'm using the triggers in analog, which you're going to want to do for, braking and for going faster. So you have your gradual. You can see the RPMs over here. It'll be up here on the screen. You can see it just gradually going up. And you can floor it. But you can still grab it halfway down. So it's not choking off or anything like that weird. So it is working fairly well. It actually works really well. But yeah, so everything here is working really well. So I tried this. I tried a bunch of first-person shooter games. Everything's working good. I did on Xbox as well. There is one goofy thing that I can't really quite figure out, and I'm trying to figure it out, is when I'm testing polling rate on the computer. I'll try it one more time before I upload. It's always coming out at 250, which is fine. That's the Xbox polling rate at 250 hertz, but I can't seem on computer to get it to pull anything more than 250 hertz. It's not pulling the 1000 hertz polling rate that is actually built into the controller. I had this problem with another GameSir controller one other time before too, and it was just fine. It had to do with a software update with that software that I was using in order to test it. This one here, though, it looks like everything's up to date, so I'm not sure what exactly is going on, and maybe it's just that this controller setup isn't in there yet, which I think maybe was the problem last time. I don't exactly remember. I just know that something was kind of jacked up. I'm trying to see how close to the wall I can get here in case you're wondering without hitting it. So something's jacked up, but either way, I mean, the controller works really well. I'm not feeling any latency at all when playing it plugged into an Xbox, and you shouldn't expect any latency when you're plugged in anyways. You're not getting that here. So it is a high value controller. So I decided to run this on another polling tester. I've never actually used this to test polling or controllers because I'm just not sure how accurate it is. And it may be more accurate than the other one. I don't know. I've just been using that other website forever. But according to this, when we run this through here, it is actually poll testing at 1,000 for both USB and 2.4, which it doesn't have a receiver. So it's considering the USB cable, again, a 2.4. And then it thinks it has Bluetooth. So it's a little confusing with all that. But it is showing a 1,000 hertz polling rate for it being USB wired. So we could go with that and say that's what it is. And 250 maybe for the Xbox. I don't have an option to change these on the other testers, so I'm not sure. And again, I've never used this tester before. And again, it may be more accurate, and I just don't know anything about it. But it also has this, what it looks like a 25 millisecond delay here, but the other one has 4.01. But this looks like we actually might be getting a 1,000 hertz polling rate. So I just want to throw this out there. If anybody else has used this test before, let me know in the comments down below if this is something that I can just use going forward, or if I should be continuing to use the one that we've been using for years. At least that gives us another kind of avenue, and it makes me feel a little bit more comfortable with the 1,000 hertz polling rate, and has me asking more questions. Either way, it works really well. So it doesn't even really matter. It's nor here nor there. For the price, I don't think you can go wrong with the GameSir T7 W Retro Green. I said it all in one breath by the end of the video. I knew I could do it. I had faith in myself. This is a solid controller, and for the price, which I will throw the price at current up here on the display for you, it is a solid price to performance controller. And I do prefer to play wired most of the time, or part of the time anyways, especially when I'm here in the studio because I am so close to the TV. I don't have to worry about any latency, which I don't have to worry about any latency anyways because it is wired. But yeah, can I recommend the GameSir T7 W Retro Green? Absolutely. This is definitely a good controller. Good bang for your buck. If you want to get yourself one of these controllers, take a look at the link down in my thingamabob. It will have directions on how to get one. Well, it'll just be a link and it'll go right there, and GameSir will sell you one. And if it comes up on Amazon or anything, I'll add that link in the future. But right now you can buy directly from GameSir's website, and I'd say it's definitely well worth it. This is a solid controller. Thank you, GameSir, for sending this over for me for the purpose of review. And thank you, viewer, for watching. And if you want to see what comes in this big old box, I'd recommend subscribing to the channel. And that reminds me, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share this video with friends because sharing is caring. It also helps grow the channel. Also, there is a video up here for you that YouTube wants you to watch. Maybe 2 videos, who knows? But they picked them for you based off of your viewing habits, so you're obviously going to like them. So after you're done subscribing and writing comments, check out one of these other videos I got for you here today. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.